This one room nearly broke me. Every time I opened the door, I felt the weight of clutter, memories, and stress piling high. Maybe you felt it too. That space in your home that quietly drains your energy, reminding you of all the things you've been putting off. For months, I avoided it, thinking it was too overwhelming to fix. But then, in just one afternoon, everything changed. I discovered a simple process that not only transformed the room, but gave me back peace of mind. And today, I'm going to share that transformation with you. Step by step, you'll see exactly how I tackled it, what I learned along the way, and even a few surprising treasures I uncovered. Plus, I'll finally answer the questions so many of you have been asking about. Simplifying life after 60. By the end, you'll know how to reset any room in your home, and maybe even your mindset too. As we get older, our rooms begin to tell stories. Stories of children who have grown and moved on, of careers we once poured our hearts into, and of countless moments when we said, "I'll deal with it later." But all those laters eventually pile up into clutter that quietly steals our peace today. Maybe you felt it, that sinking feeling when you open the door to a space you've been avoiding, the stress of not knowing where to begin, the guilt of holding on to things you no longer use, the overwhelm of facing memories tied to every object. You're not alone. So many of us struggle with these emotions, especially when the clutter feels like part of our life story. But here's the good news. Change doesn't have to be overwhelming. With the right approach, we can reclaim these spaces, and in the process, reclaim our calm, our clarity, and our confidence. Today, we'll face it together, one simple step at a time. Today, I'm resetting this room completely. No more avoiding it. No more stress every time I walk past the door. Instead, I'll take you step by step through the makeover so you can see exactly how a space that once felt overwhelming can be transformed into something peaceful and functional. Along the way, I'll share the simple methods that make decluttering manageable at any age, because it's not just about tidying. It's about creating a life that feels lighter. And to make this even more meaningful, I'll also be answering the questions you've been asking me about. Simplifying life after 60, the challenges, the emotions, and the victories that come with letting go. And wait until you see what I found buried in the back corner. Something I thought I lost forever. By the end of this reset, you won't just see a room transformed. You'll feel the shift in energy, and maybe even find the courage to start your own reset. Clear the space. The first step to any real reset is simple, but it can also feel overwhelming. You have to clear the space. That means every single item comes out, no matter how small, no matter how forgotten. And let me tell you, this is where many people stop. Because the moment you start pulling things off shelves, out of drawers, and from behind old boxes, the mess gets worse before it gets better. Suddenly the floor is covered, the furniture is stacked, and it feels like you've just unleashed years of history into the middle of the room. And here's the truth. It's normal to feel that wave of regret when you're surrounded by clutter that's finally out in the open. But clearing the space is not about creating chaos. It's about creating possibility. For the first time in years, you get to see the room for what it really is, a blank canvas. And that empty space holds so much potential for peace, freedom, and a fresh start. But then, I hit the hardest part. Sentimental items. It always happens. You're moving along fine, stacking up papers, tossing out old magazines, making progress, and then your hand lands on something that makes your chest tighten. A photo, a gift, a letter from someone you've loved and lost. And suddenly, it's not just clutter anymore. It's memory. It's life. This is where most of us freeze. We tell ourselves, I can't throw this away. It means too much. Or we hold on to things because letting go feels like letting go of the person or the moment itself. But here's what I've learned after years of doing this. The memory isn't in the object. The memory lives in us. The object is just a reminder, a symbol. And sometimes, Keeping too many symbols can weigh us down more than they lift us up. So here's the practical advice I give myself in this moment. Not everything that's sentimental has to stay. Pick just a few treasures, the ones that truly light you up. When you see them, and give those items a place of honor. For the rest, take a photo, write a quick note about the story behind it, and let it go. That way, the memory stays, but the clutter doesn't. As I cleared this room, I had to pause more than once. I sat down with a few items in my hands, remembering moments from decades ago. And yes, I felt tears well up. But with each decision, I felt lighter. Because every item I chose to release wasn't really about losing. It was about making space for the life I'm living now. And here's something powerful. When you clear a room, you're not just making physical space, you're making mental space. You're training your mind to let go of what no longer serves you, and to focus on what truly matters today. For those of us after 60, that's not just organizing, that's healing. So, the first step in this extreme makeover wasn't glamorous. It wasn't fast. It wasn't easy, but it was absolutely essential. Everything had to come out. The clutter, the forgotten, the emotional, the sentimental. And as the room emptied, I could see the possibilities start to appear. A room that once felt heavy was already beginning to feel lighter, because sometimes the most powerful transformation begins in the emptiest space. B. Sort and decide. Once the room is cleared, the real challenge begins, deciding what stays, what goes, and what belongs somewhere else. And here's where I want to pause, because sorting isn't just about moving piles around. It's about making decisions that shape the way we live moving forward. I like to keep things simple. Every item goes into one of 4 categories: keep, donate, toss, or unsure. That's it. No complicated systems, no fancy bins required. Just clear categories that force me to make a choice. And when I say keep, I mean something I actually use or love. When I say donate, I mean something still valuable that could bless someone else's life. Toss is for the things that have no use at all. And then there's unsure. That's my safety net. Because let's be honest, sometimes we need a little more time before we can fully let go. And that's okay. But here's the golden rule I remind myself. If you haven't used it in 2 years, it's not just holding space in your home, it's holding space you could be using for peace. And isn't that what we're really after at this stage of life? Less clutter, more calm. Now, I know sorting can feel like quicksand. You start strong, but then suddenly you're holding an object, and you can't decide what to do. That's when I ask myself 3 simple questions. Does this serve me today? Not 10 years ago. Not maybe someday. But today, does it bring me joy or peace? If I smile when I hold it, it probably deserves a place in my life. Could this bless someone else more than it blesses me right now? Sometimes, the most loving choice is to pass things along. And here's where I want to share something personal. One of you asked me recently, how do you decide what's worth keeping? That's such an important question, because it gets right to the heart of decluttering. For me, the answer is this. I keep the things that support the life I'm living now, not the life I lived years ago. The past shaped me, and the memories are mine forever, but my home should reflect who I am today. So as I worked through these piles, I found myself holding on to a few items that brought a rush of joy. A book my granddaughter once read with me, a set of tools I still use, a photo that always makes me smile. But I also released so much that was quietly draining me. Extra linens I never touched, old electronics gathering dust, even duplicate kitchen tools I hadn't used in years. And with every decision, the piles shrank and the space began to breathe again. Here's the surprising part. The more you practice sorting and deciding, the easier it gets. At first, every item feels like a tug of war between the past and the present. But over time, you start to trust yourself. You realize you don't need everything to remember the life you've lived. You only need a few meaningful reminders, and the rest can go on to serve someone else, or simply let go altogether. And let's not forget the emotional side. It's okay to feel a little sad when you part with something that once mattered. It's okay to pause, to remember, to even shed a tear. But then remind yourself, letting go isn't losing. It's creating room for the life you're living right now. So here's my encouragement to you. Don't aim for perfection. Just aim for progress. One item, one decision, one pile at a time. And if you find yourself stuck, remember my simple rule. 2 years of no use means it's probably time to let it go. Now, we've sorted and made some tough choices. But what comes next is the step that actually locks in your progress and makes sure you don't end up back where you started. Coming up, I'll show you how I organize the room in a way that makes sense, lasts long-term, and feels effortless. And I'll also share a little secret that keeps my spaces from sliding back into chaos. C. Organize and reset. Now that the piles are sorted and the decisions are made, this is the moment I look forward to the most, the reset. This is where the room stops, looking like a project, and starts looking like a place you actually want to spend time in. And here's the best part. Organizing doesn't have to be complicated, expensive, or exhausting. In fact, the simpler you keep it, the easier it will be to maintain. The first step in resetting a room is to give everything a home. If something doesn't have a designated spot, it's going to wander, and before you know it, the clutter sneaks back in. So, I take a few minutes to think about how I actually use the room today, not 5 years ago, not someday when I might, but right now. Then I create homes for the things that truly belong. One trick I've learned over time is this. Keep the things you use most often within easy reach. For seniors especially, bending, reaching high, or digging in the back of a closet isn't just inconvenient, it can be unsafe. So, I place everyday items at eye level, where I can grab them without effort. The rarely used items, they can live a little higher or lower, but the essentials stay front and center. Another key is visibility. I use clear bins, open baskets, or simple labels. That way, I can see what I have at a glance instead of forgetting about it until it's too late. Because how many times have we gone out and bought something new, only to find out later we already had 3 of them hiding in a drawer? That's not just clutter. That's wasted energy and money. And here's something powerful. Organizing isn't just about containers and shelves, it's about creating ease in your daily life. Think of it as designing your room to support the way you want to live. When everything has a home, when you know where things belong, you remove tiny daily stresses that add up over time. Instead of searching, stacking, or shifting piles, you simply live in your space with calm and confidence. But even with the best setup, many people worry about one thing. How do I keep it this way? That's the question I get over and over, and it's a good one. Because the truth is, any room can look neat for a week. The real challenge is keeping it that way for months and years. And that's where my secret trick comes in. I call it the 5-minute reset. At the end of each day, I give myself just 5 minutes to return items to their homes. Not a deep clean, not a full reorganization, just 5 minutes of putting things back where they belong. It's amazing how such a small habit keeps the clutter from ever piling up again. It turns what used to feel like a mountain of mess into nothing more than a quick, easy routine. And let me tell you, this isn't just about keeping the room tidy. It's about peace of mind. When you walk into a space that feels calm and ordered, you start your day with clarity instead of stress. And at our age, that kind of mental freedom is priceless. It allows you to focus on the things that really matter, your health, your relationships, your passions, rather than being weighed down by constant disorder. As I reset this room, shelf by shelf, drawer by drawer, I could feel the difference immediately. It wasn't just a visual change, it was an emotional one. What once felt heavy and overwhelming now felt open and peaceful. And with my 5-minute reset, I knew it wouldn't slip back into chaos. So here's my encouragement for you. Don't just organize for the sake of looking tidy. Organize with the goal of creating freedom. Keep it simple, make it accessible, and give yourself the gift of maintaining it with just a few minutes a day. That's how a room stops being a burden and starts becoming a blessing. And remember, coming up I'll show you some of the small wins and surprising discoveries I found along the way, including something I didn't even know I still had. Trust me, you'll want to see this. D. Small wins and discoveries. This is the part of the reset that always surprises me. As I dig through the last corners, the back of shelves, or the bottoms of boxes, I start finding little treasures, things I didn't even realize I still had. And these discoveries, big or small, often carry the strongest emotions. One moment, I pulled out an old envelope, worn at the edges. Inside was a letter from a dear friend who passed away years ago. For a moment, time stood still. I sat quietly, holding not just paper and ink, but a piece of my own history. I could hear her voice as I read the words, and I felt tears mix with a smile. That's the beauty of discoveries like this. They remind us of where we've been and who we've loved. But then comes the question, what do I do with it? Do I keep it? Do I let it go? This is where many of us get stuck, because the object feels like it holds the memory itself. But here's the truth I've had to remind myself again and again. The memory isn't in the object, it's in me. It's in the stories I tell, the love I still feel, and the person I became because of those moments. So here's my advice. When you find something deeply meaningful, pause. Hold it. Remember, allow yourself to feel whatever comes up. Joy, sadness, gratitude. Then ask yourself, does keeping this item support the life I'm living today? Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes it's no. And both answers are okay. If you keep it, give it a place of honor. Don't bury it back in a box. And if you let it go, do so with gratitude, knowing the memory doesn't leave with it. And it's not just the sentimental things. I also found a set of extra cords and cables that I had no idea I even owned. Honestly, they just made me laugh. For years, they took up space. And for what? These discoveries remind us that clutter isn't just emotional. It's practical, too. Getting rid of these useless extras creates small wins that add up quickly. Each bag I donated, each drawer I cleared, gave me a little burst of motivation to keep going. Here's the beauty of small wins. They're proof that progress is happening. You may not see the entire room transformed just yet, but you can feel the momentum building with every decision, every cleared corner, every discovery. And those little victories carry you through the harder moments. For me, these discoveries are a reminder of the seasons of life. That photo album reminded me of raising kids in a noisy, love-filled home. That letter reminded me of friendships that shaped me. Even the old tools reminded me of projects I once tackled with determination. Each item carried a story, but here's the key. I don't need to keep every object to keep the story alive. My life is richer because of the memories, not the clutter. So, if you find yourself in this stage of your own reset, celebrate every small win. Smile at the little treasures. Pause for the memories. And then, make a decision that supports your peace today. Because every discovery, whether it stays or goes, is another step toward a lighter, freer space. As I worked through these last boxes, I realized something powerful. This process isn't just about making a room look better. It's about honoring the past while embracing the present. It's about holding memories in our hearts, not just in our closets. And it's about letting go of what no longer serves us so we can step into the life waiting for us now. By the time I finished, I didn't just have an organized room. I had a renewed sense of clarity. The clutter was gone, but the memories remained, stronger than ever. And that's the gift of small wins and meaningful discoveries. Coming up, I'll show you the final reveal, the transformation you've been waiting for. And trust me, when you see the before and after side by side, you'll understand why this reset has changed not just the room, but me as well. As I worked through this reset, I wanted to pause and answer a few of your questions because so many of you are on this same journey. One I hear often is, do you ever regret letting things go? The truth? No. I've never regretted choosing peace over clutter. What I regret is waiting so long to start. Another question is, how do I stay motivated when decluttering feels overwhelming? My answer is simple. Don't look at the whole room. Just choose one corner, one drawer, or even one shelf. Small wins build big momentum. And someone else asked, what's your favorite part of living simpler after 60? For me, it's freedom. Less clutter means more energy, more space to breathe, and more time to focus on what truly matters. Every decision I make now is about living lighter, not heavier, and that feels like a gift I give myself every single day. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's the one room in your home you'd love to reset? Share it in the comments below, because I might choose your idea for the next makeover. Your stories inspire not only me, but also this whole community of people learning to simplify after 60. And if today's transformation gave you even a little motivation or peace, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps others find it too. Don't forget to subscribe for more simple resets, encouragement, and practical advice for living lighter at this stage of life. Together, we can keep creating spaces and lives that feel calmer, freer, and full of possibility.